We're going to discuss the lat glute connection. So Yanni, go ahead and finish doing your lunges, stepping back. Now what I want you guys to do is do not grip the cranket. Put your hands and press down onto the handles and do that same lunge. Now when you do a lunge, remember to point that good and then stand up, pressing down and down. Okay? So come up, good. Pressing down. Now Yanni, when you press down, do you feel any sort of stress or any kind of flexion on your glute? Do you feel anything on your glute?
Yes.
Very good. Okay, we're going to discuss that. So go ahead, sit down. Go ahead, take a seat. So we're going to discuss the lat glute connection. Now the lat glute connection is basically your latissimus. There's a hook that comes here to your bicep. And if you stand up, we'll use Yanni. And it runs down to here, to the lumbar spine, and then it connects to the gluteus maximus, right? So go ahead, take a seat. So anytime if you push down, if you're pushing down, you are priming the lat, which is pre-stretching the glute. Your body works in an X. So the right lat pre-stretches which glute? This one or this one? The right lat pre-stretches the left glute, yes. It's like when you do, have you ever tried a pull down with one arm?
Yes.
When you do a pull down with one arm, you lift this leg, it's okay. If you do a pull down and you lift this leg, you could not pull down. You will try that later, okay? So now we're going to do a squat. I'm going to move to the next slide. Oh, we got a pull. Next one's a pull. All right. Watch my shoulders. Pull. One more. So using our difficulty stance, this would be easy. This would be harder, and this would be harder. Okay. One, two. Now, how can we make that even harder? As well as stance, what can we change? Think of how we can make this harder. Even harder, lower. How can we make our bodies tender? We can go deeper. Okay? So the deeper you go, the more the load is. Okay? Alright, so let's get Yanni going to come up and carry. You can train Yanni.
Okay.
You tell her what stance. Watch your shoulder. Alright, so go ahead. Roll up. Very good. One more. Nice. Let's hit carry try. You go ahead. Let's hit carry try. Touch it. He's got it. Okay. Down. Let's get deeper. See, carry is stronger so we can go deeper. Carry still at a wide stance. Pull. Carry. Let's try closing. Good. Pull. Let's come a little bit deeper. Same stance. Pull. Good. Now carry. One leg. One leg. Good. Nice. Now you got to also watch. Make sure everything stays straight, right? All right. Good job. Take a seat. Nicely done. All right. We're going to talk about the shoulder. All right. I'm going to show you this slide here. So you just zero in. The mechanics of the shoulder. I'm going to try to draw the same thing on the board. You have a ball. My drawing is exceptional. What's this in Chinese?
Huh?
海狮. Okay, this is George. George the seal. Let's call him George the seal. Okay? Seals. Now, have you ever seen this before? Have you ever seen a seal balance a ball on his nose? You've seen this, right? In the zoo, right? Okay, now we're gonna imagine, okay, this is George the seal. This is a ball. Okay, let's imagine, just imagine, he has some spokes. Okay? He has some spokes. These are helping him. It's on his nose, and it's helping him hold up. Okay? Now this is the head of the humerus. So if you look at your arm, okay, this is your bone. This is the head of your humerus. Okay? This, the seal, is your scapula. The scapula. What's your scapula? Carrie, you want to stand up? This is your scapula right here. This is the head of the humerus. This is the scapula. So if you are both trainers, you know the human body. This is the scapula. This is the head of the humerus. What do these lines on George's nose, what do they represent? What do they represent? What do they represent? What are these lines? Do you see? It's only called rotator cuff. Rotator cuff. The rotator cuff are these lines holding up the ball. These little, just imagine this. This never happens. We never see a seal named George spinning a ball on his head, and we never see these lines. But just imagine, just because of looking at the human body, it's your scapula, head of the humerus. Now, these lines, that's your rotator cuff. Okay? These are your rotator cuff. Now, if the ball moves and George doesn't move, what will happen to the rotator cuff? The rotator cuff will break, right? Many people in the world have a sleeping George, a sleeping seal. This means that their scapula is quiet. Okay? So the humerus moves, but their scapula doesn't move. What happens to the rotator cuff? It breaks. It's a lot of trouble, right? A lot of therapy around the shoulder. Why? Because of the rotator cuff, these spokes. So what we want to do is we want to teach our clients to have awake seals. George needs to be awake. When the ball moves, George must move. You understand? Okay? So before we go to common mistakes, I'm going to show you, watch my scapula. Active scapula. Pull. Not like this, okay? This is not good for your rotator. Pull. Okay? Alright, common mistakes. Before we go to common mistakes, again, you want to practice one more time. Scapula, head of the humerus. One check. Now watch. This is the scapula. Row. Good. Making that humerus safe. Good. One more. And let's let Harry try. Harry, excuse me. And Yanni, watch his shoulder. This is how we want all our clients performing this active exercise. Good job. Okay, some common mistakes. All right, you got a hip break at the bottom of the movement. I'm sure you've seen this before, right? A hip break, so down, your hip breaks. You don't stay rigid. Next one, hip drive. Do you see this? See this a lot. So those of us, we don't want that. We want a tight core, maximum activation in your core. The row. Not this. What's wrong with that? Okay, number 3, a thoracic flexion at the bottom of the fold. So thoracic flexion. Tight at the bottom, thoracic extension at the top of the foot. So we do not want this. We don't want, this is all breaking posture or breaking that core activation. It's supposed to be tight and row. Linear view. This is what I think, especially here. You were to perform that movement with your clients. This is what I see all the time when I come in here. I see all those funny movements. You actually do it right, checking all these lists. performance you've got, you actually create a very good exercise. Okay? All right, good job. Next time.